to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I've spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they become an entrepreneur, start a side hustle, move into a position of leadership, or even when they're starting a new career, is that they wait to take action until they have all of the information. It sounds a little like, I need to learn this before I can do this. I need to figure out these things before I'm able to do those things. And the truth is that the most valuable information needed for you to be successful isn't going to come from a book or a manual, training video, course, or conference. It's going to come from experience. And we get experience from doing. Experience really is the best teacher. Experience, aka going for it, yields results, and it's also going to provide ample learning opportunities and immediate feedback that informs the next move. And if you prioritize knowledge over action, then what you're really doing is deprioritizing progress. You don't have to know it all to do it all, but you need to do it all to learn it all. Acquiring information only does one thing. It sits there. It's powerless, really. Knowledge without action is just brain dust. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the key to success in anything you do is learning as you go. It isn't information that stalls people's success. It's usually a lack of action. And if we know that we will learn as we go, we get the biggest hurdle out of the way up front when we take the first step. When I think about this, it takes me back to my days as a teacher. My favorite grade to teach was fifth grade. It's where I spent a majority of my time. And I absolutely love fifth graders, 10 and 11-year-olds. My daughter's in that grade right now. And I love that age because they are still moldable and shapeable. The hormones haven't hit like, stinky little sixth graders. And there's just time. They're impressionable. There's just time to get in there, instill all the right things. But this thought does take me back to my days as a teacher. And, it's funny, I was just on the phone with a friend today, and we were talking about first year teaching, second year teaching, third year of teaching, and how first year teachers, God bless those students, those kids. The fact that they even came out on the other end of that first year, having learned what they needed to be prepared for that next grade level was nothing short of an absolute miracle, because you are literally figuring it out minute by minute, day by day as you go. And I hate to break it to every parent out there, but your kid's teacher never learned what they actually use in the classroom from their teaching preparation classes. They use what they learn from day-to-day experiences by just going for it and figuring it out along the way. There would be times I would be in the middle of a math lesson, and it wasn't going like I planned it out in great detail in my head or in my plan book. And there I stood with 37 kids looking at me with the most glossed over eyeballs I have ever seen, chins tilted, eyes squinted. They weren't understanding any of it. And I just scrapped the lesson right in the middle and said, you know what? This isn't working. Let's try it this way. That's where the best learning comes from, doing. So let's talk about how this concept and knowledge translates to leadership. When it comes to all things, knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you grow. This may sound very contradictory from what I was just talking about, but hear me out for a minute. Don't confuse getting all the info with learning along the way. There is a difference between a down payment and monthly payments. One is required up front, and the other one in installments. The best thing about leadership is that it's a learn as you lead kind of thing. I'm so grateful for that, because if we knew we had to know it all up front, we would never have the opportunity to actually lead. You would spend your entire life trying to learn how to be a leader rather than actually being a leader. Knowledge and leadership isn't just about learning things. It's really about having the right information to make the right decisions, the right moves, and the right changes when necessary. As a developing leader, you have got to prioritize opportunities to acquire new knowledge so that you remain relevant in a world that changes faster than we have the capacity to keep up with. I want to dial in for a hot second on the word prioritize because it matters. Too often, I see leaders leading based off things they learned years ago, talking about what they've read in the past, measuring their success on past achievements. And I want you to know something that's really important. It's not about leadership, okay? Leadership is not about what you have done, what you have read, what you have learned or achieved. It is about what you are reading, what you are learning, what you are achieving. Leadership isn't about where you've been. It is 100% about where you're going. Leadership is action. There is a difference in leadership between I've done and I'm doing. Prioritizing opportunities to acquire new knowledge is how you stay relevant and keep your leadership relevant to the evolving dynamic of the people that you serve. As leaders, we have a ton of things that take up space on the to-do list. Most of the things are not related to production or revenue. They're more managerial, organizational tasks. We do this in our real life too. Take a look at I dare you actually to take a look at your most recent to-do list. I bet some household responsibility is within the top 3. Don't be shocked. Okay. Why do we prioritize cleaning out the little toaster crumb catchers over doing the work that is required to get us closer to our own goals? You know, I can always tell a lot about a person by their to-do list, a lot about what they prioritize and a lot about what they procrastinate. I can always tell a lot about a person by the size of their to-do list too. If it's long, you're lacking focus. If you don't have one, you're lacking direction. If it focuses on chores and the little things that in the bigger picture of your dreams and goals doesn't align, then you're self-sabotaging. If it's succinct and growth-focused, you live and plan with intention. I'll have to take some time to teach a method I created to help you prioritize progress and teach it on a later episode. Somebody please send me a reminder. So what does it look like for a leader to prioritize opportunities to acquire new knowledge? It looks like reading what the leaders around you are reading, putting yourself in conversations where you don't have as much to say because you have so much to learn. It looks like prioritizing personal growth over organizing the filing cabinet. You must also prioritize sharpening your skill set as a leader, so that your abilities are constantly evolving. If you're not sure where to start when it comes to sharpening your skill set, do yourself a favor and shorten your leadership learning curve and strengthen your abilities in connection. Learning how to connect with others is an essential leadership skill that is underrated and, as far as I'm concerned, overlooked. However, connection is what builds trust. Connection is what builds relationship. Connection is what builds credibility, culture, and at the end of the day, a thriving team and organization. It's the connection that creates and adds value. The connection that sets your leadership apart. Think about when you felt like you really connected with someone. It went deep and it created an emotional and physiological connection, and that's what draws you in. Many lead. Many people lead. Few connect. And those who connect simply lead at a higher level. When you're growth focused, you cultivate a growth centered environment, and that simply benefits everyone. So when I was little, my Nana encouraged me to do really well in school. In fact, she encouraged me to go to college, to always learn as much as I could. She also taught me at the age of 11 to become an asset in any and everything I was doing and would do. She always said that assets appreciate over time. And the way to appreciate in value as a person is to learn and grow and become better each day. She always said that no one could ever take what you have learned. No one can ever take away your education and your experiences, that knowledge was power, and no one could ever take any of it away from me, ever. And as a little girl who lived a very big life by the age of 11, I liked knowing that I could keep something that no one would ever have the power to take away. So I prioritized my education and every opportunity to learn something new. I realized at an early age that it's not about being the best. It's about consistently working to be better. You can only be the best once, as it's a finalizing adjective, but you can be better all the time. So in my books, better is bigger than best. Your title, your office, your paycheck, your rank, your income, your status, all of those things are never guaranteed. But the things you learned along the way, your experiences and the knowledge you acquired can never be taken from you. With that being said, let me take a quick moment and share with you a really simple way you can take all that you learned today and put it into immediate action. Just like anything else in life, if we want it to happen, we have to have a plan or a strategy to make it work. That is why meal plans are essential. Fitness plans are essential. Business plans are required to achieve real success. So I would love to take you through what I actually do each year to make sure I not only prioritize personal growth and development, but ensure that I have a plan for it. So here's exactly how to map your very own growth plan so that you can also prioritize knowledge. So step one is all about planning your daily growth. So you make time in your schedule each day to read a chapter or listen to a chapter. If you make this non-negotiable, you will be shocked at how much better you become and how much faster that happens. You've got to equip yourself daily as a leader. And just like Montel Jordan says, this is how we do it, right? Like daily. And if you just got all shruggy shouldered in your car, you are my people. And if you're not sure what to read, okay, ask someone you respect and admire what they're reading. And if it makes sense for you, start there. And when I say that to you, here's the deal. Like, if you're asking someone you respect and admire, what are you reading? They're like, oh, all about, cardiothoracic surgery. If that's not the direction you're going, that's not the book you're reading. You want to ask the people who you respect and admire. So you all know that John Maxwell is somebody I respect and admire. I've had the privilege and the honor of being mentored by him, working alongside him. And every year I send him a text and it says, what books are you reading this year? And he sends me a list or a picture of the stack, and I immediately go out and get those books. Why? Because I respect and admire who he is as a leader so much that I want to read what he's reading. I want to learn what he's learning. I want to grow in the ways that he is growing. So that is a great place to start if you're not sure. And here's the thing. If you think you don't have time to read, you need to take another look at your schedule. If you don't think you have time to listen to a chapter a day or read a chapter a day, you need to really look at your priorities and make sure that you are making time for the things that matter. And you have got to prioritize your personal growth, because if you aren't growing, you are slowing. If you aren't putting that time in, then you're not going to have a whole lot of time in front as a leader, serving people at the maximum value, which I'm sure you are looking to do. The second step is a quarterly focus, right? So step 1 is all about the daily focus. Second step is a quarterly focus. I want you to find and sign up for a course in a desired area of study that's important to you, in alignment with your goals, in conjunction with the direction that you're looking to go. So it could be a course on social media, branding, positivity in the workplace, finance, etc. Like whatever it is that will increase the quality of the tools in your tool belt. Listen to what I just said. Increase the quality of the tools in your tool belt. And when you do that, be sure to stay in your strength zone. You see, most people think that the road to success is paved in addressing and improving their weaknesses, but that is the quickest way to end up on a detour. If you strengthen your strengths, your weaknesses will naturally get better on their own. So focus on your strengths, and you as a whole will become a stronger leader. The third step in this is an annual focus. So we've got daily, quarterly, annual. And if you've noticed, you're starting with you, then you're moving to tools and skills, strengths. And then this third one, this annual one, has a lot to do with environment, connection, relationships, networking, surroundings, and removing yourself from where you're comfortable, listening to a book in your car, reading in your bed at night, signing up for an online course at your laptop. This one takes you out of your comfort context and outside of that to where you might be a little uncomfortable, but we all know that's where the most growth happens anyway. So annually, sign up for and attend an in-person live event. It could be a business conference, leadership conference, company conference, any in-person live event that is centered around the kind of person you want to become and the success you want to have. For example, leadership is my jam, and I'm consistently and constantly working to become a better leader. Therefore, I attend an incredible leadership event each and every year. It is on my calendar before anything else, and absolutely nothing interferes with it because it is that important to me. If you can pre-plan and create a strategy for your growth, you'll be blown away not just by what you learn, but more importantly, by who you become. And this is so, so, so important for developing leaders, because the more time we spend equipping, the less time we spend tripping, right? And that is such a big, big cornerstone of your success. So as we conclude this episode on knowledge, never forget that the version of you as a leader today is not prepared to lead the people of tomorrow. Each day will require a better, keyword better, version of yourself. And the only way to achieve that is to ensure you prioritize knowledge each and every day. You guys, thank you for joining me today on this episode. I hope that you learned a few new things that will not only help you understand the role of knowledge, but more importantly, the goal of knowledge on your leadership journey. And please make sure you take some time today to put your growth plan into action. Grab the book, find the course, schedule the event. If you love today's episode, please share it with 3 aspiring leader friends of yours. Keep sharing the podcast screenshots in your stories and tag me. Seriously, it is the best part of my day. And most importantly, keep showing up for you, your goals, your dreams, your calling. I am so excited to hear about all of the big things you do and the bigger impact you'll make in the world.